This is a video on the equipment I've set up outside in my backyard. I wanted to set the equipment outside because I'm getting better results when the equipment is outside. Quite simply, this technology is interfacing with the ARV sessions. It's like a mind interface. And what we have here is I have a basalt coil. These are two basalt tubes filled with powdered basalt, and around that I put a wire which is extended about 200 feet through the trees here in my backyard. Now what this wire does is picks up on the solar wind. It comes up and it's coiled around these basalt tubes. Okay, and at the top here I put a crystal, 3 crystals, and I put another piece of flat basalt right here, and I have a coil right here which is helping also to pick up the solar wind. Now through here I have 3 crystals, as I said, and then I put a tungsten wire, a thin tungsten wire through each of these crystals, holding the crystals in place. And then what's happening is I'm putting them atop here to be charged by the energy. Now we all know that atmospheric energy can be collected into a capacitor. So if I was to put a capacitor at the end of this coil right here, it would charge up within a matter of hours, depending on the atmospheric conditions. So it seems that the right atmospheric conditions are conducive to a successful associative remote viewing session, which means obtaining information from the future. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the equipment, some of the basic equipment that I've got right here. I put together a cube right here, and inside this cube I have another piece of, I have 1 cap of powdered basalt in the cube, and on the bottom I have another cap filled with iron oxide, and then through that I have a silver wire running through. And then once again I have tungsten, I have a tungsten coil at the top here, and I have tolumarine, which is a mildly radioactive element at the top. And quite simply I just use this to tune into the future before an ARV session. I hold it here, tune into the future date. Now I can tune in up to 4 days out, and I'm getting accurate results anywhere from 1 to 4 days out. Anything after that, it doesn't work as well. These are tuning forks, which I'll show you how to use in a second. And then I have a coil right here. This coil has a piece of amethyst and a piece of crystal at the end. And then what happens is I put the finger through the coil, and it once again creates a mild electromagnetic field. When you're in a state of coherence and you bring this coil up to the heart, when you're doing heart math to create coherence, it seems to have a very energetic effect to help with the results. Now let's go ahead and I'll show you how I use the tuning coils. And I have, before I start, these are counter-rotating magnets which generate an electromagnetic field when they rotate. When these magnets are rotating, I have another magnet here to create electromagnetic energy pulse. I'll show you how those are used also. Let's go back up here to my coil up in the tree. Another quick demonstration of how this is used. Let's see if I can mount the camera here somewhere, because I'll be using both hands to show how the coil is generated and charged. Okay, hopefully I got this position right. So let me go ahead and put it over here. Remember, this is all new technology. It may be, rediscovered technology for all I know. So it's all very primitive still, but it's getting results, and that's what counts. If something gets results, even if it's primitive, there must be something to it. So quite simply, I have the coil here. I have 2 tuning coils, 2 tuning forks, I mean. So what I do is I tap the tuning fork, and then what I'm doing is I'm bringing these tuning coils over the coil and the basalt. So I'll do it again. Usually I use both. I use a separate hand, but because I'm holding the camera, anyway, what happens is the tuning coils moved up and down right here, and then they're also applied to this basalt right here. I apply both coils up here to the basalt. And what this seems to do is create a harmonic resonance that's resonating with the solar wind and amplifying the energy and also charging the crystals up here. So that's how the tuning forks are used. Now I also use these rotating magnets right here, and I use them on the coil, and I also use it at the basalt. I'll go ahead and give them a quick rotation. So quite simply, I'm rotating these coils, I'm rotating the magnets up and down the coil here, and I'm also rotating around the basalt. But because, oh that's right, and I'm also rotating around the coil that's at the top of the crystal right here, at the top. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's another coil right here, and these rotating magnets are rotating around the coil. Now because we know that when we rotate magnets in front of a coil, it creates an electrical energy pulse. When I rotate the magnets, I'm holding these magnets right here to the coil, because that's where the energy is occurring. So quite simply, when these magnets are being rotated, I'm holding this part here, which we know is the opposing magnets that are creating electrical energy. And they're also being held here to the basalt and here to the coil right here. So quite simply what that is doing is creating electrical energy, electrical charge, and it's also helping to charge these crystals up here. Now in summary, this is it may seem very primitive technology, but it's also very new technology, and it's getting results, and that's what's important. That's why it's important to document all this tech right here and the results that it's getting. This is not overnight work. This is a result of about 2 to 3 years worth of work right here. And it seems that when these coils are charged, not only by the solar wind, but when these are charged and this is removed and brought to the heart when it's in a state of coherence, it seems to have an effect of increasing the results of the ARV sessions. And remember, this is associative remote viewing, which is remote viewing and bringing information from the future back to the present. So anyway, that's just a quick update on the tech and the hardware that I'm using to get pretty good results of the associative remote viewing. And I think because there's not a lot of people doing associative remote viewing, I think this hardware is a necessary component to get the results that you want to continue getting, because the solar wind definitely has an effect on the mind, and the solar wind has been shown to have electrical effects and affect power transformers. It affects telegraph poles, etc., etc. So anyway, that's just a quick update on the tech that I'm currently developing and the results that I'm getting. So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.